Today's a very exciting episode, not just because it's the first one, but also because we're going to be meeting for the first time a guy called Steve. He's from White Tiger Knives. He's a very well respected knife maker in the UK. If you have any questions for Steve, don't forget to comment below and we'll throw those questions over.
Hi, I'm Steve Nowacki. I'm White Tiger Knives. That's what I make my knives under. I'm an Apprentice Smith with the ABS. I've been an Apprentice Smith with them now since 2015. I make a wide variety of styles of blades, from bowies to hunters, daggers. Very much into Japanese style influenced knives as well. That's basically what I do.
What do you think we're going to do today, Steve?
Well, if we take a bit of high carbon tall steel round bar, what we can do, Vince, we can cut it, we can forge some flats into it, which will become the handle. Yeah, once we're happy with those, then take it back to the vise and cut some very fine grooves on those faces that I've forged in. So when we twist it to form the handle, what that does, it gives another profile. It splits the facets up a little bit, just makes the twist a little bit more interesting. Then we can take it back to the anvil. I can put a tool in the hardy hole, and then I can forge in the beginning of the blade to flatten it down, and then we can draw it out. So all from one process, from a round bar, you're turning it into a complete blade.
So what are we going to start with then?
So if we start with a piece of this, so this is a piece of high carbon steel round bar. And I'll cut a section out of it. I'll maybe cut about 8 inches off of that. I'll cut that with the grinding disc, and then we'll fire up the forge, and we'll forge in the handle, and then draw out the blade. And from that, we'll have a functioning knife, hopefully, in a couple of hours.
Sounds good. Right, let's get started then, yeah?
That was my original. That came from NC Tool Company in America. Beautiful, beautiful forge. I always had a little bit of sporadic when I was forge welding. I used to get a few failures, so I was always a little bit dubious of how hot she got. But I saw this build on YouTube, put it together, and it's brilliant. It's my go-to one, really. And then everybody was talking about a ribbon burner. So I had this old body, just sat in the corner of the shop and never really did anything. And then I converted it to use a ribbon burner. Bit of a monster, that one. That does poke out a lot of heat. So that's the one really that I would use more so now if I'm doing any pattern welding. But yeah, they work lovely. So I'll fire her up. Let's get some gas going and see what she's like.
ask you, so why did you put those lines in it?
The lines I put in the centre are purely for aesthetic reasons, just to sex up the twist a little bit, just to give it something a little bit different. So there's a line going on inside the twist. You could, in size, you could cut the corners, and then when you twist it, it almost breaks apart, and it looks like a pineapple. If you put that in as a feature in another part, for example, when I make a fork, the fork goes with this forged knife. I could put that in to the centre of the fork. What I like to do is do counter twists on that, so you can have a section in the middle which has 3 twists. 2 will go clockwise and the centre one will go anti-clockwise, so the twists will sort of move about. The amount of different varying character traits you can put into it, I suppose, really are only ever limited to your own imagination. It's a fantastic Japanese story of giddy honour, and even though these guys, they became masterless samurai, it had been December the 14th, 1702, and their master was tricked into drawing his sword on imperial ground, and because of that the edict dictated that he had to commit seppuku, he had to commit suicide. His Ronin, his samurai, were cast out. They were made Ronin, which is masterless warriors. They wandered the nation for about 3-4 years. Some became drunks. What they did is they lulled everybody into a false sense of security. All the time they were planning their revenge upon the guy who had perpetrated that dishonour upon their lord. They broke into his castle December the 14th, 1702, killed most of his samurai, beheaded him, took his head to where their master had been buried, where his ashes were buried, and then they washed the head and laid it on his tomb. And they still today offer prayer sticks to the spirits of the 47 Ronin. It's a fantastic story of, even though you know your actions may cause your death, the giddy, which is the obligation hardest to bear, they realised that they had to fulfil that obligation, even though it would have caused their own death. That's why it's Bushido. It's the law of Bushido. So yeah, it's a lovely picture. I'm waiting for another one to go on the other side.
We had it made, yeah.
clean that off, put it on the inch wheel, just to give a bit more of a radius so the finger sits in there a bit better. But all in all, not a bad morning's work really, from a bit of old carbon steel bar. What do you reckon?
Go and check out Steve's website. Links are in the description below. Click the link from our sponsors as well, as they support us in making more videos like this. And more important than anything, support your local knife maker.